audience wants to see more of you. They want to see your logo personified, see behind the curtain, see who actually makes up the company, not just another machine that's spitting out content like a machine.
I'm a pretty lucky dad right here.
One of the main surprises to me is how in-depth you guys wanted to go to build the website based off of who we are. So I was extremely impressed with that.
The audience wants to see more of you. They want to see your logo personified, see behind the curtain, see who actually makes up the company, not just another machine that's spitting out content like a machine.
I'm a pretty lucky dad right here.
One of the main surprises to me is how in-depth you guys wanted to go to build the website based off of who we are. So I was extremely impressed with that.
From the Australian Gold Country rises Mount Panorama. Traversing up its southern face across the summit and down its eastern slope is a concrete-lined thin ribbon of asphalt. Tie in a couple very long straights, a pair of tough 90-degree left-handers, and a few other tricky curves to navigate, and you have today's 4-mile racetrack. Sanctioned by the Precision Racing League, it's time for the American iRacing Tuesday Series Round 9 Bushfink Challenge at Bathurst. Hello and welcome to the Global SimRacing Channel and Countdown to Green. It's Soup and Crackers, yours truly, Bill Soup Zahn, joined way up in the press box to bring you our Word's Eye view by Sean Crackers Ambrose. The hardest working man in sim race broadcasting, Joe Peak, is our director, armed with cameras located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. As cyberspace flows into your place over these 15 streamy award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the 45 minutes of simulated GTE Ferrari and Ford action that will immediately follow as we count down to green for the American iRacing Tuesday Series, the Round 9 Bushfink Challenge at Bathurst. Sean, for our points leader Benjamin Perez, who at this late stage in the season just needs to stay out of trouble, Bathurst is probably the last place he'd want to visit.
You know, Soup, the mountain is really a street circuit, and large sections of this course are lined by temporary concrete walls that transform these old public roads and house driveways into this unforgiving 4-mile racetrack that these drivers have to challenge today. You know, of course, we're used to most cases seeing V8 supercars get around here, and they call it home and have for many, many years. But thanks to iRacing, you can find all types of cars running on this track. You can even get a truck out here if you want. So, listen, 23 turns here. And if the name doesn't make it obvious, it's one of the distinguishing aspects of this place is the elevation changes. Up and down the mountain, you'll be dealing with the rises and dips all over the place. As I said, 23 turns, 4 miles, 6.2 kilometers. Soup, it's going to be a fun trip up and down the mountain today. The biggest worry for our drivers is going to be blockage on the track, getting up the mountain. It gets very, very narrow, and 1 car, 2 cars get turned around. There's nowhere to go. It can take quite a bit to get that sorted out. After that, the fastest drivers will be those that dare to race closest to the race-ending track boundaries. But to really give you an idea of just how scary this place is going to be today, let's hop on board the GSRC McLaren and take a trip around Bathurst.
All right, we've got Kevin Brown in the GSRC McLaren, so let's do a lap around Bathurst. Coming down to Hell Corner, you're faced with one of the more critical turns on the track straight away. It's a 90-degree left-hander, so it seems straightforward, but it's tough to resist the urge to be too aggressive and lose time in the dirt on the outside. If you do that, it'll hurt you the whole way up the mountain straight. The next corner can make for an awkward passing opportunity, but anyone faster than you will be eager to get by before things get twisty here. As we come over the crest, you'll set up to brake for Griffin's Bend. This is a medium-speed uphill corner, but clout either curb too hard and you could be in for a world of pain. Now we switch back to set up for the cutting. This corner is a two-parter, with the first apex being a difficult curved braking zone. Then the track is going to climb sharply uphill, where the walls will make things very blind all the way around. After that, it's time for quarry, where you need a little lift for the bump on the inside to prevent wheel spin. The track keeps going up and up until finally you reach Frog Hollow, where we start a series of fast, tricky left-handers. The track is going to undulate up and down while you're trying to play chicken with that outside retaining wall on the exits. Finally, you come to McPhillamy Park, which has a pretty tall curb to the right, which can spin you if you clobber it too hard, so beware. A quick switch to the left to set up for Skyline, and you start your descent through the S's. This dumps you through the infamous dipper, where the drop on the inside is going to help turn the car, so take that into account with how you drive it. From there, the track takes us to the very important Forest Elbow. Get it slowed and hold right so you can straight line that exit as much as possible. Just be sure not to clout that outside wall, and you'll finally have a chance to relax for a second. That's because you're now flying down the Conrod Straight. It's all about planting your foot to the floor and minimizing steering input in an attempt to get as high a top speed as possible. Eventually, you'll bring the car to the left and use this patch of pavement off to the side to give yourself as wide an entry as possible into the chase. Don't lift through the kink, line up the car, and throw the anchors out. There's a huge rise that's going to make the chicane blind, which means you won't know if you overshot it until it's probably too late. As long as you kept it on the black stuff, you'll be preparing for Murray's Corner. This is another deceptive 90-degree turn that can invite you to overdrive it. The inside curb is especially tall, so watch out. If you didn't throw it away in the final corner, you've now finished a lap around Bathurst.
Joe Peak's video lap, as well as everything on today's broadcast, is made possible thanks to the folks at Team Bushfink Racing. Let me tell you a little bit about these guys. They are a virtual race team competing on the iRacing service. The team was started by 3 friends back in the days of Gran Turismo 5 and then migrated, no pun intended, I'm just reading what they told me here, to the iRacing service, where it has since expanded to over 40 members. It would be 41 members if they would take me as one, but they said, we'll call you, don't call us. Check them out on Facebook at facebook.com/Team Bushfink Racing. And now, let's check out the points. Now, because the rules allow for drivers to drop their worst result, despite only 10-point lead over second-place Christian Eisler, we are at the point now where Benjamin Perez could clinch the championship. The number by the droplet on Perez's row there represents his worst result that has been dropped from his total. So even if Perez drives his Ferrari off the side of the mountain, the worst score he will receive is 27. That is why Eisler, if he has any chance at this season's crown, the SDS Racing Blue captain will need to have a great result and also hope that Perez struggles and has to burn that 27 pocket points now so he won't have them available in the finale. Juan Landini for SDS Racing Black has increased his lead slightly over Sergio Pismaujo for Asturias World Team. With 19 points in his pocket, Landini looks secure for that final podium spot. Impressive on the track of late has been HDF1 Motorsports' Kenny Duval. He holds station in 5th. Let's go ahead and take a look at the team championships. Now, while Sergio Pismaujo has been doing the heavy lifting, Moises Lobato's 4-point contribution, he's been doing enough to just chip away on these points, and they've been adding, which is enough to get that team close as they continue to work their way up. Quebec Racing is only 14 points out of second, but Danny Duchesne and Guillaume Dupont are running out of time. WER BBS Racing holds station in 5th, manned by Gary Schilling and Richie Pettinger, and it's safe to say that Christian Eisler and Francisco Montini have earned that team the crown for SDS Racing Blue. So we talked about the track, gone over the points. How about we look at the race details?
So let's do that now. Season 12 is wrapping up. This is round 9 of 10. Today we have the Ferrari 488 for you and the 2017 model of the Ford GT. Race distance today going to be 45 minutes. 1 pit stop guaranteed. Nobody can make it on the tank they will start with into the cap. You're going to get 30 of them. Soup may not be enough. Fast repairs, you'll get 1 spare car to use. That may not be enough. Now, let's talk about our tremendous sponsors here. And first, let's talk about Apex Button Box. There are some nice prizes the drivers are competing for, and Apex Button Box is one of those sponsors. The winner of the series will be awarded a 16-function button box, courtesy of Apex Button Box. Affordable, reliable button boxes for those who don't have the time or material to make
talent.
Or talent. That would be me. Visit them at facebook.com/Apex Button Box. Transdo Transport. They're sponsoring the Transdo Cup. The driver with the fewest incidents at the end of the season will get $75, courtesy of Transdo Transport. Visit them at transdo.ca/home.
Again, Sean, I think you and I are both in the running for that Transdo Cup, as we have no incidents so far this season. So
I think we're good.
Yeah. All right, so that takes care of all the business. Let's get down to looking at who's out there right now. Qualifying. Sometimes qualifying is important, sometimes it's not. At this track, I think you want to be near the front so you don't have to worry about trouble happening in front of you as you work your way up. So it's no surprise to see Benjamin Perez on top. There are bonus points for that as well. But how about this? Coming on stronger every week, Sergio Pismaujo now sitting second.
Yeah, Maljo, he was really solid in practice and looks so far he's pretty solid here in qualifying. I think we know Icer will be competitive, but I got a feeling Maljo may be Perez's biggest threat this week, Soup.
This is an interesting track because there are places where it's really difficult to make a pass as you go up and down the mountains. But then as you come out of Forest Elbow, that left-hander just finishing up the mountain, then you have that long back straight before you get to the chase. Good passing zones there, right?
Yes, Soup. Once you get to Forest Elbow, it is a straight-on assault all the way down into the chase. Now, when you hit the kink heading down into the chase, that's going to be where you'll see that last-ditch effort to get to the chase first. Someone try and send it up the inside. It could get pretty scary there. Now, listen, once you get out of the chase, you've got a good opportunity. If you get a good run through there to get him down in Murray's corner, that will be your last chance because the start-finish line comes out of Murray's corner. I think it's maybe just 100 yards, if that much.
Yeah, you're not going to have, unless the guy you're trying to catch really, really blows that final corner, you're going to be hard-pressed to snake him at the end. But there are some other interesting spots. Hell corner number 1 is that left-hander. I always forget that it's really the first corner. I always think of Griffin Bend really as the first corner, but there is that left-hander that sets up as you work up the main straight.
Yeah, and Soup, the big thing there is you get a lot of speed as you head to the Petter Bridge there, and when you get under that, you hit that little bit of rise there. The car can get a little light through there. You've got to be careful when you're racing side by side and you're drafting with somebody through there. It can get sketchy. Now, you miss the braking zone getting down into Griffin's Bend. The wall out to the left is just going to destroy your car. That bit of concrete right there just is notorious for eating cars alive. You got to get the line through Griffin's Bend just right. If you don't, it will be unfortunate. It's also that very first spot on the track, Soup, where it will get backed up. When we were talking about that earlier, when you talk about getting off the start and getting on your way up to the mountain, you back up out of Griffin's Bend right there. That's a tough place to get turned around.
We were looking there at Eric Luke for a minute. This is open qualifying, and you got to leave yourself some space here. So he was running up on the back. In fact, Lucas had a problem. That lap isn't going to count. Now we're looking at our points leader and our pole sitter, and with the drop race insurance, what we like to call pocket points, those extra insurance points that he can use, that he's really in good shape when we're talking about Perez to lock this thing up. Now here's another interesting driver. This is the teammate to Christian Eisler. This is Francisco Montini for SDS Racing Blue. Those two teammates at third and fourth. He's going to call that lap off. That's okay. He's sitting in fourth position right now.
Really close up top, Soup.
My goodness.
Yeah, they're really, really close. In fact, Perez just getting his fastest lap in. That's a 1:59 flat. Woo! That's flying.
Yeah, 0.3 of a second separating the top three drivers. And when you take into account how long the lap is here, just a tick under 2 minutes to go around, 0.3 is basically nothing.
Yeah, these GTs are humming around this track. Anything sub 2 at Bathurst, you're in a pretty fast machine.
I think the qualifying has wrapped up here, so let's go ahead and we'll have plenty of time to get through our grid. Let's go take it a row at a time, and sure enough, it is our points leader and multiple-time pole sitter Benjamin Perez out in front, but he's going to be flanked by Sergio Pismaljo. I think that's Maljo's best qualifying result this season. Sean?
All right, in row 2, it's going to be the Iceman Christian Eisler right there with Francisco Montini.
Right behind Montini is Landini, Juan Manuel, as he sits in fifth. He's going to be inside of Guillaume Dupont.
Row 4, Sebastian Masseria. Let's see. And Kenny Duval. Sorry, my screen flashed. I didn't see that. There we go.
John Carini is going to be in ninth. And outside him in the 10th position is Eric Luke.
Row 6, Matthew Fraley and Mark Vile.
In the Baker's Dozen spot is Fernando Rodriguez. Lucio Vargas is going to be in 14th.
All right, row 8, going to be Danny Duchesne, and the only Ford GT in this field, right there with Moises Lobato.
Richie Pittenger in the 17th spot inside of Ricard Colomb.
All right, Tyler Gore will start 19th, and Gary Schilling going to start 20th today, Sue.
Kelly Thornton in the blackjack position. Hugo Galles in the double duck spot, and I believe that's it. 22 names on the entry list. 21 were able to put in qualifying times. Galles did not, but he did practice with us, so hopefully he'll grid up. But as my new adopted policy, if Galles is a hard charger, I'm not going to give him credit for it because you got to get into qualifying time for me to consider you a hard charger. They start to grid up now. Where they're going to do their pace lap is just before the chase. So they'll negotiate through there. Then they'll come around Murray's corner. That's the 90-degree left-hander. They'll be on the throttle into Hell Corner, another 90-degree left-hander before they head up the main straight.
Yeah, Soup, not much of a pace lap here. It's the pace car will be pulling in very quickly. We'll be underway here in just a moment, waiting for the last couple of cars to get on the grid now.
It's kind of an Edgar Allan Poe day today, Sean. What's the weather look like?
It kind of is, Soup. It's 79 degrees outside. It's overcast. And it's about 80. Well, we got close to 80 degrees on track, and a little bit of wind. Not much. I don't think it's going to be much of an issue here today, Soup. There we go on screen there. 86 on track, to be exact.
You can look at you can see the 80 degrees, the ambient temperature, and the track temperature only 86. That's because not a lot of sun to pound down on that track to heat it up. That's good for the drivers. Give them a little more traction up and down the mountains. This is going to be how fast can I go and not, well, hit the wall and crush my car. It's
kind of like when we're talking about the track info. These drivers are going to see how far they can really push the car without, without exceeding the track limits because, well, there aren't many. How shall I say this? There's not a lot of room in those track limits.
Yeah.
A lot of walls.
They do have one fast repair and the one pit stop. So if you can time your mistake in your pit window, that's one way you can kind of make the best to make lemonade out of lemons. The problem is if you've come in for your pit stop and then you crash your car, or if you crash your car early before the pit window opens up, well, then you're making 2 stops and your race is about done. Pace car pulls in. Now it belongs to Benjamin Perez. He waits, he waits, he waits, he waits, he waits. And he's on the throttle. Gather up the chickens, stay covered behind the cows. The horses are out of the barn. And it is, as usual, Benjamin Perez leading them down into Hell Corner, trying to take a peek. Around the outside was Maljo. He doesn't get that working. Eisler, DuPont, and challenging DuPont is Francisco Montini. There's your top 5, Sean. How's it look a little farther back?
Spark File, Fernando Rodriguez battling down the straight, getting under the Petter Bridge on their way. It looks like File's going to get the advantage heading down here into Griffin's. Oh, maybe not. For Rodriguez, takes a move on the outside.
Everybody gets through Griffin's okay. We've seen many a race end early there, but they managed to negotiate it the first time through. Perez really working the tires through the cutting. Keeps it going straight. Maljo right behind him. They start to gap the Iceman a little bit as they head up the mountain.
Yeah, Jean Carini was another car that struggled there in the cutting. He made it through without any incident, but man, that was close.
This is where it's scary. The very first time going up and down, the pack is packed up tightly. One mistake, a driver, you won't see it coming. A lot of bumping and banging here. Cars bouncing off the wall. One of them, Eric Luke. He slides it into the wall. Did not get far for him. We'll take a peek at that replay for Luke, as you can see him there. Meanwhile, the leaders are out of Griffin's Bend.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, out of Forest Oval. Go ahead, Sean.
Luke just gets the line wrong here at the top of the hill, Soup, and kind of blasts on through there. And when he does and hops over that curb, just plows him straight into the wall. Serious damage. He's still up there struggling.
Good job of keeping the car out of the racing line, though.
Just now making his way down the backstretch. He's going to have a long way to go still to the pit. Car severely damaged.
Leaders are across the first lap. Let's get lap 1 to Benjamin Perez. Maujo right behind him, but they continue to gap Eisler a bit. Look at this battle. DuPont and Mandini. Montini. Look at Montini now. I think Francisco is going to have a good run as they head down into the Griffiths Bend, but he's not going to force the issue.
Yeah, too early to do that. No reason to force it here right now. Just keep pace with him there. And, boy, just behind them, Sebastian had quite an entry there into Griffin's. Got him offline, and he lost a lot of time to Kenny Duvall up in front of him.
Musiera running in 8th position. We've talked about the front 5. Let's talk about the back half of your top 10. Juan Landini in 6th, being chased by Kenny Duvall. We just talked about Sebastian Musiera in 8th. John Carini in 9th. Rounding out your top 10 in his familiar yellow paint scheme, Matthew Farley. I almost call him Chris Farley.
Fraley.
Fraley.
Now, listen, going on behind Fraley, though, Danny Duchesne, the only Ford GT. Soup, he's picked up 2 spots really, really quick here. He's working on Mark File right now. Sure to take that. Oh, DuPont's had big trouble, Soup.
We'll see if we can find a look at that. He was racing up in 4th position. Now he finally gets it going. He kind of just, he slangs it, kind of just slaps it on the right side. Boy, the car, let's stay on it a bit as he was really, does a good job. Watch after this. Now watch how he keeps it right here. He wants to back up. He backs up just a little bit, but doesn't go back into traffic. Just enough so he can get the car going straight. Took him a while though. Sean, look at that. Look how that cost him several positions.
Yeah.
Because he didn't back the car up into traffic. That's some good racing. Or maneuvering.
That's, you know what, that's courtesy racing there.
Yeah.
Soup, just not wanting to screw up your mates out there.
I know it may seem obvious to those who aren't familiar with iRacing, but every fiber in your body says, let me go, let me get out of here. But you got to be patient. Perez and Maujo running 1-2. They are working lap number 3 now, heading up the mountain. Sean, the Iceman is not on his game today. Christian Eisler back in 3rd does not seem to have the stuff to run up with the front 2 guys.
Well, listen, Soup, everybody has their favorite track, their least favorite track. This just could be a bad combination for Eisler. And, you know, if we get a chance to talk to him after this is all over today, I wouldn't be shocked if that's what we found out. So, and you know what? The line starts to the left with people who don't find this track a good combination for them. So,
right on board with the Iceman now. Boy, this really gives you an impression of how narrow it really is. Oh, Lucio Vargas spins it around and is right up in front.
Oh,
and he is collected by Lobato. Oh,
Boy,
and Duchesne, the Ford, is in there too, Sean.
Yeah, he just somehow seemed to get through that. I don't think Duchesne made any contact. He tiptoed through there. We've got a replay of it. Let's look.
Vargas gets loose. Then a car gets by. Then Vargas is second to the scene. Or, I'm sorry. Oh, it's behind the wall. And there goes, you can see the Ford.
Lobato.
Yeah. Lobato. Duchesne sneaks by. We're going to try to get one more time. Maybe on board with Duchesne might be a good one, director, if we have a chance. So there's the spin.
Yeah, and I was wrong about Duchesne. He does get damaged. You can see it on this angle here. Yeah, he clatters him there pretty good. In fact, Duchesne's coming into the pits now, Soup.
Yeah, the car that got through is the McDonald's car. That's the one that made it through without any incidents. That's what we talked about, though, when the track can get clogged like that.
Yeah. Yep. There was absolutely nowhere for those guys to go, and I'm afraid they may be pitting maybe 2 or 3 laps too early here.
Yep.
Obviously with no choice, but that's still going to mean they're going to have to probably come back in one more time.
Of course, when I was talking about the McDonald's cars, that's Guillaume Dupont, who's already had his incident He's running in 13th, but he qualified in 6th with running a lot farther up. So a lot of drivers coming in. Lobato in that mix as well. Up front, well, Perez beginning to open it up now, about a second on Maljo.
Yeah, maybe Maljo will pick a little bit more back up here down the straight. Don't want to let him get too far away here.
You can see on these low angle shots from Dougie Beard, the car, really can see the rise and fall. Not even just on the mountain, just in general as they work through some of the more lowland areas. There's still a lot of rolling. As they come over, there's one right there. As they come over the hill at you. Okay, let's go to Kelly Thornton. This is how you bang it on both sides. If our director can get this one, it just happened.
Yeah, poor Kelly has trouble. I think that was in Quarry right there where he got in trouble.
Oops, just got the tail end of it. Bang it on the right. Bang it on the left.
That hurt.
Coming up right now. Let's see here. It should be right here. Bank. Bank. That's what Benjamin Perez is trying to avoid. Vargas coming in, you know, he was part of that incident that we saw earlier. He's going to have to come in for repairs. Still, I think, Sean, not in the window. Maybe getting close.
Yeah, I think about that. That's probably the only reason he's in is to get that free car. I just don't know. I just really think you're going to need at least 6 laps here to be close to making it. You know, our closest battle left on track right now is for 6, Duval, Sebastian, Maciera. And you have Landini right up in front of him.
There's Duval. Duval doing really well, doing what he does. Just racing steady, bringing the car home. Another driver I would like to highlight is our hard charger. And while it says Hugo Galles on my screen, we're not going to go there because he didn't qualify. Let's give Gary Schilling a little bit of love. Qualified in 20th position, up 4 into 16th now. There he is. Racing all by himself. He's got about 7 seconds to get up to Tyler Gore. And he's about 2 seconds ahead of Galles. Director, let's go up to 14th. Here's a nice little battle. Richard Colomb and Tyler Gore. Oh, Colomb goes off into the Australian Alfalfa.
There you go there, Sue.
There you go. And Tyler Gore gets the pass made.
That's one way to get a pass done.
That's it. Richard saying, man, I've been was on screen for 10 seconds and he caught me going off on the grass. And now you'll see the car go by. There he goes. There goes Tyler Gore. Kelly Thornton. Oh, look at this.
Sebastian. No, and it was just a slight miscalculation. Oh, I hate to see that for him. It didn't take much.
And then he velcros it into the wall, and he'll have to take the toes. The car would not drive.
Yeah, he cut it just a little too tight. He's going to turn in just a little too soon, and when he does, it shoots him all the way back over. He plants it into the concrete barrier and has to take that toe. That's going to be crippling.
He's racing up in 7th, so more spots to be bolstered by Jean Carini and Matthew Frawley. Fernando Rodriguez will all pick up spots, everyone behind him. And since he couldn't drive it to the pits, Sean, it'll take a long time for him to get there and get his free prepare.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's gonna be sitting there for a few.
And again, that's what Benjamin Perez needs to avoid. So far, he's done just that. Perez, Maljo, and Eisler. Honestly, that's been the order for most of the last half of the season here. Those three have been running up front, not always in that order, but usually those three filling up the top 3 spots. And as tradition, in 4th and 5th, it's Montini and Landini running next to each other. Duval in 6th. Now let's go ahead down to 15th spot. Let's look at this one.
Yeah, Schilling and Gaius. Yeah, that's that one. I'm waiting for Hugo to kind of make a run at him here. Hugo, I don't see any damage on the car. He could have gotten some under tray damage and slowing him down a little bit, but they've maintained about the same gap here. Schilling continues to hold advantage, and Gaia's just not able to pick that up. Now, they both started at the back of the field, so it's been all positive for them here early on in the race. And honestly, I think for these two, it's been more about just taking care of the car.
That was Schilling up, be about 5 spots. Gallia's up 6, but of course he didn't put in that qualifying time. Our hard charger now, after that pass was made on Ricard Colomb, is Tyler Gore, up 6 spots. He's really having a great run in 13th. He's got 3.4 seconds, and he's gaining on Richie Pittenger in 12th. Keep an eye on that one with half an hour of racing to go and a pit stop between now and then. See if Gore can run down Pittenger in 12th.
Yeah, I think something could develop there, Sue. Pittenger's been pretty good here so far.
Oh, let's go to DuPont in 11th. Just happened as Wise sped it. There he is.
Locks him up, going down into the through the dipper there. He just noses it in. It's not heavy damage, Soup, but it's enough to... took on some more damage when he spins the car around here. Let's watch the replay here. He's just going to get in hot, Soup. And they lock up on him. He goes around, and then he spins himself back around, and when he does, has a tank slapper here, and that doesn't help his effort any.
Same spot he lost to before, and that's Pittenger going around him. DuPont has spent a lot of time just doing Y turns today. So now Pittenger ahead of DuPont. And what that means is that's another spot for Tyler Gore. Remember, we're talking about Tyler Gore in 12th, maybe running down Pittenger?
Yeah, and of course, we do see DuPont go in as a result of that incident. Yeah. He's going to get his fast repair. Soup, I think you're good now. I think if you come in now, you're going to be fine till the end of the race. I thought it would take about 6 to 7 laps in.
So Gore moves up another spot. And is now 2.5 seconds behind Pittenger. Pittenger lost a lot of time negotiating around the McDonald's car.
Well,
what do you see in 10th there, Sean? There's one of our friends
you'd
like to follow.
Mark File from Pennsylvania. Well, the American having a decent run. He finds himself in the top 10 now, and Soup.
Let's go to just ahead. Okay, Fernando Rodriguez just put it on the wall in 9th, just ahead of him as we were talking. Got the car back out. We'll watch a replay here. And Bathurst gets another one. Could be coming up as he puts it off in the right hand. Right. Coming up. Right here.
Yeah, and that's the Dipper getting the best of somebody again there. Or was he? No, I'm sorry. That was Forzo. Hadn't quite made it down there yet.
And as we talk, File gets around him. So Rodriguez back into 10th. File up into 9th. He does have 14 seconds to get back to Richie Pittenger.
Could it be, Soup? Could it be? Could Mr. Iceman be getting on his horse here?
Yeah, he might have just been saving his stuff. Now he knows the pit stop is coming. Maybe he's well, they probably won't take tires, but he's just been sitting back there resting. This is kind of Maljo's modus operandi as well, though he's fast early. He seems to fade at the end.
Well, I'll tell you what, Christian has pulled himself close enough now that there's going to be some a really good tow. Once they get at a forced elbow, look for a big run here. A big run if Christian wants it. Does he want it this lap? Does he want to wait until the next one? But, boy, here we go.
There are Ferraris going at it. Gap about 0.6 of a second. Now it starts to shrink. Down to 5.5. You can see the gap. You ride on board. The car gets a little bigger in the windscreen, probably too far back. Remember, pit stop's coming up. You have to be careful here to make sure Maljo doesn't pull off. He closed up enough, Sean, that if they decide not to pit and they're going to stay out, now they have these two 90-degree corners to go through Murray's, and then another one through here through Hell. And then Eisler can make a move going up the straight this time. This one runs uphill.
Well, or you know, two can be faster than one, so maybe work together here for a couple laps. Maybe close the gap on Pettis just a little bit.
That gap is now 3.8 seconds. Benjamin starting to get away from everybody.
Oh, and more trouble for Duvall.
Boy, he's had a rough day. Is this is out of Murray's? Yep.
Yeah, so this is out of Murray's here, and you know it's a common problem here in Murray's. You lose grip. You get to the throttle maybe just a little bit. His problem was he got a little bit too far out to the right-hand side. You see as he comes down here, he's going to track out to the right, Soup, and he's not able to reel the car back in, unfortunately. The roll takes him.
And then he's getting really, really good at doing wide turns as he lets the cars go by. He loses a spot. Carini goes by, as does Frawley.
Well, as he had missed the pit stop, Soup, he elected to stay out on track, and he is losing big spots. Fernando Rodriguez just got past him. Before that, it was Mark File. Now Kenny's out there left to fend for himself, get all the way back around to the pit stop. Battle for 15th. Eric Luke starting to close up on Hugo Gaius here.
And these guys are only, remember, they're trying to catch Gary Schilling a little bit ahead of him. But here comes Luke. Now let's see if these guys, are they both on the same pit strategy? Gaius has yet to stop.
And Luke has. He was one of those early,
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he was one of those early casualties, Soup, who's going to probably, well, not probably, he's going to have to come back in for some fuel.
So, in theory, even though they have taken different amount of stops, they're probably still on the same pit strategy as they both need to stop one more, although Luke's might be a little shorter. Battle for 15th. 19 cars on the lead lap, the last one being Moises Lobato. With only a 22-car field and a 4-mile racetrack, lap traffic not going to play a huge factor here unless you happen to run up behind somebody at the wrong time. Look at this battle we see here. That's Luke. Now, who else you got in there? That's Gaius in front of the guy that's coming. That is Lucio Vargas. That's for a position as well.
Yeah, this is turning into some kind of battle here. This is now 3 cars, and I have a strange feeling it'll be 4 before long. Look at the move. They're on the inside. Eric Luke going to get by. Nice move there in Hell's corner. Gets under Gaius, and now Gaius under attack. Here comes Vargas. Gaius going to let him go.
I think those are teammates there as they work that out. And look at this is Duvall. He's going to get gobbled up by Vargas. Let's see if Vargas forces the issue into Griffiths Bend. He's half car length back. He's going to wait.
Well, Duvall gets to fight to hang on to that position now, Soup, because the cars behind him all have to come in for a pit stop. So he's going to be good here. He's just got to take care of the car. Car in front of him is going to have to pit. So it's all positive here for Kenny Duvall.
Yeah.
He came out just the right time. Oh no, Maljo's just had trouble, Soup. He spins it by himself, clatters it over the curb. This was down into Murray's corner.
Yep. He had been struggling. Eisler had been putting the pressure on little by little. Montini goes by. Landini goes by. Maljo cycles out in 5th.
Yeah, Soup, we'll watch this on the replay. He's actually going to clip the grass here. And then he's going to go flying over that curb. The drainage. He hit the drainage right there, actually. The dip in the road. Or the dip in the grass.
Yeah. When you start to put the brakes on and you have one side of tires on the pavement, one side of tires on the grass, that's going to turn the car. So, Perez now in 1st, Eisler in 2nd. That's a familiar thing we've had all season. Montini up to 3rd. Landini, Maljo out in 5th. All those cars still need to stop.
They're still battling back here, Sue. 15th place.
Yeah, there's really, it's Schilling up in 13th. In fact, Schilling and Duvall going at it right now. Just ahead of Luke. In fact, here comes Duvall. He makes the pass going into Griffith's bend. Now, and while that's
Schilling,
going on, I hear some noise. Can we get a quick one on Ricard Colomb one more time? This is kind of glancing off the wall. Take a look at Ricard, if we can find it. He's racing in 12th.
Yeah, he's just up in front of this pack that we were just watching. And Soup, my observation on that battle was Schilling's having some bad connection issues right now. And that's trouble for everybody around him on this track. On board here with Richard Colomb, we'll see him slap the wall here, and, well, he can join the list now.
What I'm trying to figure out is the pit situation. Duvall has 1 stop, but he's been out for 12 laps, so I think he needs to come back in again. Schilling has yet to stop, so he'll need to come in. Luke has made 1 stop, but he's only been out for about 4 laps, so he's probably good to go.
Maljo is in. He's away. Maljo is away.
Oh, and from 3rd position, Francisco Montini. He had to take a tow.
Oh, yeah, I just caught up with it, Soup. Montini has big trouble. Wow. Was that into the cutting? It was. Lost it on the entry, going into the cutting here, and again, looked like he turned in a little bit too soon. Kind of panic braked and sent the car around right into the wall. Heavy damage, takes the tow. Wow.
So Maljo has trouble while racing in 2nd. Montini has trouble while racing in 3rd. That moves Landini up to 3rd. Maljo cycles out in 6th after taking his spot with a fresh car. So Maljo in 6th, the leader of all the cars who have pitted. The top 5, Perez, Eisler, Landini, Carini, and Frelli, all need to come in. There's Perez. Tick under 6 seconds between Perez and Eisler. They have Kelly Thornton between them. Driver in 20th, now 1 lap down. Just getting lapped by Perez. There you can see at the very back of your screen they're coming in. You can see Eisler in the very tail. Eisler's got about 7.5 seconds to Juan Landini. And Landini has 17 seconds to Jean Carini in 4th. guy has finally had trouble. That looks like Forrest elbow. He got a little bit of arthritis in that elbow. We'll watch it on replay. And now what Gaez is trying to do, in fact, he can't drive the car. Basically, he needs to take a tow. Boy, look at that. The car almost rolled. He does his best to drive it on, and about another 15 seconds later, the car spins out on the pavement in front of everybody, and he says, enough of that. We can stay on it here a minute, because it happens right here. You can see the car crabbing. And then right about here, it becomes undrivable. And that's it. I'll take my tow.
Yeah, not a tremendously long tow from there, but still a little bit. And, boy, they just keep dropping to the wayside here, Sue.
Gary Schilling goes one lap down now, leaving 17 on the lead lap. Schilling might be able to get that back. Perez still needs to stop. The Iceman is coming into the pits. There's just so many. Let's go to Duchesne. Has a spin. Might be fun to watch this one from Lucio Vargas's car as it happens right in front of him. Here's Duchesne in his Ford. And there's Vargas. Let's see if we can see it here.
I think Duchesne's going to avoid any contact here, but he spins it nonetheless.
Vargas gets a good look at it and drives around.
Boy,
there's not a lot of width in that road. You pick your side and hope the car doesn't roll back in front of you. Sean, you and I have done a lot of races at Bathurst, and this is typical to what we see. The track is usually the big winner.
Yeah, right. Who won today at Bathurst? It can be tough, man. It's so frustrating. It's almost like playing golf, right? You hit some good shots, and you get a couple birdies. You feel great about yourself, and then all of a sudden, you throw up a snowman, and on the next hole, and you're done, and the game over. I said it during the opening, one fast repair, not enough. 30 incidents, probably not enough. But it's a punishing track. It really is. And if you haven't figured that out yet, then you probably have been watching close enough. It's punishing in any car. Have we seen a car that it's not punishing on?
We look at this battle. You talk about the incidents. This is the battle for 14th. This is Lobato ahead of Montini. Honestly, I don't know if 30 incidents... I don't know if you really need those, because it's hard to pick up incident here without it ending your day.
Well, with the one fast repair, you won't get the 30 incidents exactly.
Here comes.
But here we go. Here he comes. Yep.
The defensive line from Lobato gonna make Montini do it around the top side as they head to Griffin's Bend. Don't think Montini has the momentum to get there, and he does. A little bit of nice racing by Lobato. He gets on the brakes early.
Okay, super. Our leaders are in. Perez is in. Landini's in.
Now remember, Chrysler has already made his stop, but he is, he's just coming across the start-finish line now. Perez is coming out.
Soup, while we were watching that, Montini plowed it into the wall in the cutting. And Lobato had to slam on the brakes. He doesn't hit him. So Montini maintains position, but that car is hurting a little bit now.
It just made the pass.
Sean Carini and Matthew Fraley are in. Actually, Carini rolling. He's out now, and so is Fraley.
Nice camera work from our director there. I believe that is the pass that we saw live as they go up into Griffin's Bend, and then we'll ride now with Lobato. Let's stay on this, and there it is. Nice job, director, as you see. Montini keeping the car on the track, but not healthy now. Hey, let's get a replay of Benjamin Perez. He just put it in the wall slightly. Let's see if our director can find it.
Yeah, Soup, it looked like he had trouble. The the top of the hill.
Not a big hit.
Yeah, not big. Slowed him down a little bit, though.
I think it was right there, glancing off that wall. It was covered by the trees. We'll see if that slows him down much. His lead is, boy, it's 8.2 seconds. It's going to be hard. Might have hit it a couple times. And now he starts down. The car's feeling better down here. Boy, what a great angle. That's really, you can see the steepness of the dropper shot. You just plummet down the hill.
Plummeted's the right word indeed, Suit.
All right, well, let's give you 8.3 seconds as the gap between Perez and Eisler. There are bonus points for being incident-free, though, so that's something that Perez is not probably going to get there. Or I believe they allow you 2, I think is what we've heard. So
Montini back in. Moises Lobato still sitting in there. Soup, let's go to 10th place if we can. Because Danny Duchesne's been plugging away in his Ford GT. And Soup, remember, he had trouble early and brought the car in. Now, I suspect he's going to need another pit stop. He's
in trouble right now.
Yeah, he's got Rodriguez on him.
You called it.
And now Duchesne's in. There he goes. Yep.
So that moves Rodriguez up a spot. Pittenger, and I believe probably Tyler Gore is going to be able to get another one. Tyler Gore in 13th is having a great run today. Now we're looking at 5th. Look, this looks good.
Colombo's coming quick here. Colombo might be able to get this position away from Danny Duchesne also.
On screen, we're looking at Carini in 5th being ran down by Matthew Fraley. Fraley really close to getting it in the wall.
Just a bit outside, Sue.
These guys have all made their stops. In fact, everybody has made their stops. I believe now even the drivers that needed to make their second stop, maybe they've got those in. Maybe Fernando Rodriguez has one more to make. We'll stay on this battle here for 5th position. Sean, looks like maybe Carini has a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, I see some damage there on the front left. I don't recall when he might have picked that up. I was going to say I thought it was early in this race. I think it was. But what I don't... no, maybe he got that coming out of the pit stop. Surely he would have replaced the car if he'd known he had that damage when he was in a couple laps ago.
Let's go to Perez. Oh, this is a close one. Let's get a replay. We'll go back to Perez. Get a rewind on Perez. He almost got caught up with Gary Schilling. We'll want to go on board for this one. Oh, my. Schilling spins in front of him. Perez is just having a nice race. I'm out in front. I got nothing to worry about. No problems. Come around the corner. Only to find this.
Oh!
Welcome to Mount Panorama. We'll try that one more time from above. Hopefully the foliage will allow us to get a good look. And right here, I think. And there's a tree. Oh, there was a car there. Again, welcome to Bathurst and the world of Australian.
Welcome to iRacing.
Eucalyptus is what those were, I think.
Hashtag we model every tree.
That's it.
Oh boy, it looks like Rodriguez is around again, Soup, and he's got traffic coming. He gets out, he bails just before Pittenger gets there into the ether. I think Rodriguez's day is done.
But what that does allow us to do here is we're looking at, I believe on the replay, that That does allow us to take a look at Pittenger. Now, stay here a minute. This is Pittenger who gets by. And right behind Pittenger, we'll wait for the two cars to go by. We'll stay on a minute. Where are you? There you go. Oh, you took the toe, so we couldn't see it. Pittenger goes by, and right behind him, Tyler Gore. That was the gap we looked at earlier where we said, oh, it's about 3 seconds, about 2 seconds. Well, now Tyler's got a chance to get into the top 10. Started 19th.
That's a good battle, but it's not as close as the one right now for 5th. Fraley, I got to be honest with you. Since they came out of the pit stop, he has been pretty good.
Yeah.
He's reeling in Carini. Going to get a good run at him right there in the Griffins.
Let's go ahead and stay on this a little bit. You're not going to be able to do much through here, are you? He just wants to stay close. He'll have to work through all this technical section. It's going to take a while for him to go up and down the mountain. It's a large percentage of the lap. We'll stay right here. We can report that Vargas came in for another stop.
That was the one he needed, Soup, but he had been out there for 14 laps, so he pushed it right to the limit.
Now, if you're Frawley, what you want to do, if you're Fraley, you just want to stay close so they work through the S's, start going down the mountain, and get a good run out of that left-hander. Ooh, careful, boys.
Soup, repeat this for me.
Yes.
Ace Fraley.
Ace Fraley, got it. All right. I'm on there. Only one more race to go this season. I'll have it by the time we get to the end. All right.
I'll give you permission. You can call him Space Ace if you want. Go ahead.
Carini and Fraley now out on the Conrad Straight, working up. Working, I guess, down here. Look at the run that Fraley has.
Carini doing everything he can to break his draft, and it just didn't work.
Either breaking his draft or that car has no straight line speed because of the damage he has up there. I don't know what Carini's going to be able to do as they work through these two left-handers here, and then they start up the main straight.
Possibly he was avoiding sniper fire. So just serpentine.
Oh, I think Fraley is in good shape here. About a 2 car lengths back. Gets a decent exit out of Hill Corner. But that car, the yellow car's not going.
Yeah, honestly, I think Fraley just, see, he's starting to gain on him here deep into the run, but I think Fraley's just got to mind the shop here over the next few laps.
There's really nowhere for them to go. Maujo in 4th position. The car ahead of these guys is 33 seconds up.
Yeah, now they can't afford to make a mistake, or Kenny Duvall is going to be the recipient of the mistake. He's back there in 7th.
Let's go away from that one for a minute, and let's go to Lucio Vargas in 10th. I guess he's... Oh, Deshane has had another issue in his Ford. As we go into Murray here. And let's see.
Did you just lose the grip here? I didn't catch it on my replay. I'm going to assume that's probably what we're about to see is a spin by himself here.
Yeah, he got a little bit loose, then he corrected it, and then he just ran out of room.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to talk about there is Pittenger back in 9th. Remember I was talking about Tyler Gore being able to run him down. Well, Vargas came out, did that final stop that Sean documented. Vargas is now hustling. He's got around Gore and now has a running down Pittenger. So we're looking at this Pittenger-Vargas battle, and then we're also keeping an eye on Carini and Fraley.
You know, I'll tell you what, if Vargas can pull this off, I'm pretty impressed because he had that trouble early. He had to make a second stop. Looks like he's going to be able to salvage a top 10 finish here. And, well, let's put it this way. Anybody else who had a 2-spot or a two-stopper in this thing, they're nowhere even close to Vargas right now. So, boy, what could have been if he hadn't had that trouble early. Here he comes. Pittenger's in trouble.
And let's go to 5th position real quick, because here's comes the battle. They make contact. Fraley gets into the outside, trying to go around the outside through Griffin's bend, makes contact with Carini. We'll get it on replay.
Soup that just couldn't behave.
Yep, he had the run. Now the question is, does Carini hold the inside line? Does Fraley chop him? We'll find out. We have a great view here from the chopper. You be the judge. Around the outside. Ooh. Looks like maybe a bit of a hit check from Carini.
Yeah, maybe. That's going to let Duvall get by, though. And I talked about that a little bit ago, man. Duvall was sitting just the right spot to take advantage of their problem. Now Carini's left all by himself.
So that's cooled off a bit. With just over 2 minutes of racing to go, Pittenger still in front of Vargas.
Maujo just got a big run down the back straight and got into the chase a little bit hot. Lost all that time he picked up to Landini. Soup, they're going to have 2 laps to go this time around.
There's so much action, there's so many mistakes, we really can't chart it. Carini just put the car in the wall as well, coming out of Forrest's elbow. His car is really injured now. Duvall going to run him down. We do have a few things to watch for. None of it is happening up front, where Benjamin Perez has a 12.5-second lead over Christian Eisler.
Wow, Carini's going to have to hit that car.
He gives up 5th position.
And Fraley going to get back by.
So there's a little bit of the racing gods. Handed out a little of delayed justice.
You think maybe Fraley had a smirk on his face?
I think he might have.
By. Oh.
So now Fraley has a shot to get back to Duvall.
But yeah, well, okay. So who's the big victor in this? Okay, you have Fraley and Carini fighting, but who's really victorious here? So that be Kenny Duvall, I would think, right?
He was racing back in 7th without any hope of a top 5. Then Fraley and Carini start going at it, and Duvall vultures that spot. That's what Duvall does, though. He stays out of trouble and just picks him up. This is
man,
Maujo.
Playing the part of the vulture at Bathurst. Oh, boy, big trouble for Fernando Rodriguez. I didn't know he was back on track. That happened right in front of Carini and Lobato. Oof.
And now, Sergio Peace Maujo beginning to come on Juan Landini for 3rd. I think Maujo's got this one. He looks really strong. Landini might have done something that we didn't catch. That car doesn't seem to be racing at its normal clip.
Now we're watching the replay right here of Rodriguez's car getting around. You know what? Duvall just had a problem. Oh no, Duvall had a problem in the cutting. Was that in the cutting? Where was he at? No, I think it was back in the dipper. No.
Could have.
Duvall's in trouble, and Fraley is coming around now.
Could have been worse. Fraley makes the pass. Oh, he didn't get him. I thought for sure Fraley was going to get him.
Well, he did. He came around, and then Duvall got it back.
Duvall came back on that one. Meanwhile, our Perez is going through the S's right now, heading towards Forest Elbow. He's got a little ways to go.
He's going down through the dipper here now. Been a pretty good drive for Perez.
Boy. One little mistake that we caught. There is a nice battle, though. This will be the last chance for 3rd. We'll come back and check this one out. This is Landini and Maujo. I think Maujo's going to get him. Perez now heading down the Conrad Straight.
Yeah, I think Maujo's been waiting. Honestly, I do. Here's Maujo's last chance.
We have time. We can look at this one as Perez just going through the chase right now. We'll give him a little bit, and we'll catch in on Perez right at the very end. Here comes the pass, and I think they're going to get this made. Meanwhile, Perez, we're not going to be able to finish. Coming out of Murray's Corner, round number 9 of the American iRacing Tuesday Series goes to Perez. What do you got?
They're both around. They're both around.
We knew it was going to happen.
Both make contact, both scrambling to get back on track. Looks like it's going to be Maujo that's going to get away. Eisler going to get that 2nd spot, but Maujo is going to come home in 3rd.
We'll take a peek at that one. They come home third and fourth for Landini. We'll have a replay of that in a minute. Duval's going to get fifth ahead of Fraley. Fraley not able to run him down. Let's go ahead, and Luke is being Vargas. You know, we have the Dory Warford that just keeps swimming. Vargas has really had a eventful race. He just keeps struggling at it. We'll stay on this one a bit.
Well, just real quick, Duval's going to get home in front of Matthew Fraley. 5th and 6th for those two.
Very quiet race for Mark Feil. He's going to come home in 7th. Didn't see much of him. All right, Luke now on the final back straight. He's got about, I think he's safe. He's got quite a distance.
Yeah.
In fact, my timing and scoring is a little bit off, but I think we're good there.
Yeah, unless he makes a big mistake, I think that's pretty well settled. What? Hang on, now that's Tyler Gore though for position around Juan Carini. Carini limping in.
There it is.
Oh, he's losing a bunch of spots. Carini's got nothing left here at the end.
And Gore is now being challenged. Hang on, here comes Luke. Has a chance at Gore.
Oh!
Luke spins it. Gives the spot just when we thought all the action was done. He gives them all up to Vargas.
Carini gets his spot back, and you know what? Pittinger's going to get by. Oh, Luke can't get it into gear and back. Now he's going, and it's too late because everybody else has come by, and boy, Luke is going to wind up with a 12th place finish instead of a top 10. Ouch.
Director, we're going to look at the replay now. This is the contact between Maljo and Landini that we had to get away from when Perez was coming across the start-finish line. That's Maljo making the move.
I saw it once, Soup. You have fun with it. Go ahead.
Well, they look good here. And I think that was Landini that couldn't get a vote up. Landini takes it in really hot. There's the pass. Made good job by our directors. We go on board, up and over the hood, and over the roof. And yeah, could Maljo have left him maybe a little more room? Maybe. I don't know. Did he finish the pass before he came down on the apex? Maybe not. I think you could argue that one either way. What you can't argue is that the racing is over here at Bathurst, but our broadcast is far from done. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few.
The audience wants to see more of you. They want to see your logo personified, see behind the curtain, see who actually makes up the company, not just another machine that's spitting out content like a machine.
I'm a pretty lucky dad right here.
One of the main surprises to me is how in-depth you guys wanted to go to build the website based off of who we are. So I was extremely impressed with that.
Sanctioned by the Precision Racing League, welcome back to GSRC's coverage of the American iRacing Tuesday Series Round 9, the Bushfink Challenge at Bathurst. Let's go ahead and give you the finishing order. Like I've said many times so far this season, your winner today, Benjamin Perez. But unlike many of his other wins, this one a bit uneventful, as he pretty much had it his own way the entire time. Had a little brush with the wall, but other than that, a pretty uneventful race. Christian Eisler comes home second. He was as far back as third. Everyone got out of the way for him. Sergio Malgio, once again, faster than his result would show. He was able to snake Landini and pick up third. Landini has to settle for fourth. Juan Landini. And then Kenny Duvall is your top 5. Back half of your top 10, Matthew Fraley, Mark Feil, Tyler Gore. I told you he had a great run, 19th to 8th. A great run from Tyler Gore. Fun to watch his progress throughout the race. Lucio Vargas. Wow, 9th position from him. Man, he had an eventful 9th. And then Jean Carini in 10th. Sean?
All right, Soup, I'll take the rest here real quick. Richie Pittenger will finish 11th today. Eric Luke, 12th place. Danny Duchesne, the lone Ford GT, 13th. 14th for Richard Colomb. Gary Schilling, 15th. Hugo Galles, there, 16th. Moises Lobato, 17th. Kelly Thornton, 18th. Fernando Rodriguez, 19th. Francisco Montini, 20th. 21st, Guillaume DuPont, 22nd. Hard luck, 22nd today. In the number 22, Sebastian Macier.
All right, there's your finishing order. Now we're going to let Crackers talk to our race winner. If somebody can bring Benjamin Perez into the interview booth, we'll let Sean talk to him.
Ben, congratulations. Buddy, it seemed like you had it really dialed in here today on the mountain. Is that the case? Is that why it was just such an easy race for you?
I would say so. Yeah, I had it pretty dialed in. It wasn't so easy. I mean, I was still nervous the whole way around because it's the mountain, and one little mistake and you're in the wall. It's just like Nürburgring. But yeah, I had it dialed in pretty good. The setup felt great. You'd be surprised at how much speed you can carry through those corners, especially with this cold weather.
Yeah, okay, so I'm glad you mentioned the cooler temps today. Boy, a much different track when the temps are this low, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. When this track, especially this track, when it's hot, it is really slippery, and you have to be very, very gentle coming onto the throttle. In this kind of a track temperature, I mean, I was going flat out through the corner just after the... oh, God, what is it called? The left-hander going up the mountain, and then you have that right-hander that's kind of a kink-ish. I mean, that was flat out in this weather, which is insane.
Well, and we talk about how important it is to take care of the car here on the mountain. You had the one fast repair at your disposal. I got to ask, how confident sorry, I'm stumbling, but how confident are you when you have to push the car like that? I mean, that's got to be a tough task to try and balance.
It's all dependent on the setup, in my opinion, in terms of confidence. I struggled really badly with this setup. Not gonna lie, to try and get it to feel safe but fast for me. I still could never figure out how to get it to not feel like crap through the dipper. That was probably the sketchiest part for me, was going through the dipper, just because the car gets so unsettled going through the compression and then having to rebound off of that. And then I had one other scary moment going through just before Skyline, but yeah, I think the confidence definitely is very dependent on how well your setup is built and how you feel with the setup.
Well, one race to go. I guess I don't have to tell you that. This is not the first time you've been in victory lane this week. What's the goal? You've got one to go, and I'd say with this win. Go ahead, Sue. Go ahead.
I think it's safe. We can almost give him the crown here with the drop races. I think he might be in. Benjamin, you feel uncatchable?
Well, I was going to say, I think we were just discussing this in the waiting for the interview room. I think I have it clinched. I think even if he wins and gets every single bonus point, that I don't think he can win. So I think I have it in the bag.
Yeah, we here on GSRC, we agree with you on that one. So let's give you an early congratulations on that. So you got no pressure when you go into the last one.
No pressure, but I'm still going to go for that win. Try and get as many wins as I can. It's not going to be like last season where I won every single race, but hey, I'll take the championship victory again.
All right,
go ahead, Sean. I was going to say, you get to head to California for the last race, so it can't be all that bad.
Oh yeah, Laguna Seca is going to be a really fun track. I've raced the GTEs there before. It's a ton of fun. It's already enjoyable in GT3s, which is the most comparable car probably to these. And having that extra downforce and the extra grip just makes it even more fun, especially going down that corkscrew.
Okay, now do me a favor. Before we get there next week, remember, okay, WeatherTech Laguna Seca Raceway.
Is that what it's called now?
That is what it's called, yes, sir.
No.
We need to be sure we get that right. Okay.
Oh wow! I actually did not know that. You learn something new every day.
Hey, Ben, congratulations! Really, not on the championship, but a great victory today. We look forward to seeing you next week, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Benjamin Perez, your race winner. Now, if somebody would be kind enough to escort Christian Eisler down into the booth, I will talk to our second place finisher today. Christian, you did everything you could, but Bathurst just didn't seem to fit you. It seemed like not your track.
Yeah. This track is very difficult. I made good laps, but I was not with the consistency necessary for 45 minutes race. So Ben was very consistent all the race. Well-deserved winner of this.
Did you touch any of the walls, or did you keep your car clean the whole time?
Yes. I didn't touch any wall.
Good for you.
But I think I was a little bit conservative this race. So it was very difficult to me to fight for the championship in the last 2 weeks. So well deserved to Ben for the championship.
Yeah, we think with the drop races that Benjamin has clinched it. I want to try something. I want to learn a little bit about Chilean culture. So I'm going to ask you this question. Okay. Are you familiar with the American term rooster, like the farm animal, the rooster? I think in Spanish it's gallo. Yes, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Gallo,
okay.
See?
In America, the rooster says cock-a-doodle-doo. What words does the rooster speak in Chile? What does it say when it wakes up in the morning?
Kikiriki.
See, so I've learned something. So an American rooster and a Chilean rooster, they would not be able to talk to each other because they don't know the same language. So let me hear it one more time. What does the rooster say?
Kikiriki.
Thank you very much. I like cock-a-doodle-doo better. Thank you. Christian, it's been a pleasure to get to know you. We look forward, hopefully, okay. GSRC, we're going to cover the last one. Hopefully we'll be back to cover next season. Congratulations on a great season.
Thank you. Good
All
job,
right.
your guys. Amazing job.
Thank
broadcasting.
Christian Eisler, your second place finisher here today. See, Sean, we talk about the race, but we also learn about culture and livestock as well.
Kikiriki.
There you go.
Just for it's that's great, Soup. Thank you so much for pulling that out of him.
You know what to know that.
All right, so Kenny Duval, we've caught up with him. Kenny, I've got a first question. Was that an interesting race for you?
I'll answer it this way. I'm really glad that's over. Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Kenny, I don't want to be Captain Obvious, but this is a tough track.
It's a very tough track.
How much experience do you have here in the GTEs and the Tin Tops?
I haven't driven this place other than practice this week before tonight in this car. So
really? Okay.
I didn't have. There should be a couple more people in front of me. I didn't have pace to do anything with Guillaume or Francisco. I'm not sure what happened to them.
Well, listen. Congratulations, Kenny, because part of the strategy at the mountain is survival, and that's got to be part of everybody's strategy. And you know what? It apparently was part of yours because you did it. You're in the top 5 here. Some heavy hitters here tonight that you just admitted you had the pace for him, but listen, by hook or crook, it's still a 5th place finish. Congratulations.
I will certainly take it, and I'll ask that somebody go down and check on Jean Cabrini, because he's either having a grand mal seizure or driving drunk. We're not sure which.
We'll check in with him. Thank you. That's a good
All
heads
right,
up. Kenny, we'll see you next week in California.
I will be there. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good night.
All right, you too. And that was Kenny Duvall. A big top 5 for him tonight, Soup, with very little experience here on the track.
Yeah, I thought he did very well. He's been coming on very strong of late. I'm checking here. I don't see in front of me. Are we done? Are we going to interview? We're wrapping it up.
We're clear, Soup. We are clear.
Right. Well, that was good. That was a fun race. It was the track was the winner, as is so often the case here. But congratulations to Benjamin Perez for getting the win here today and locking up that Season 12 championship as well. Thanks to everybody at Precision Racing League for organizing the American iRacing Tuesday Series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. And thanks to Team Bushfink Racing for sponsoring this event. See them winning all over iRacing and check them out on Facebook at facebook.com/Team Bushfink Racing. Sean?
And Soup, let's thank Apex Button Box. Affordable, reliable button boxes for those who don't have the time or the material to make their own or just don't have the good sense to do it. Visit them at facebook.com/Apex Button Box. Transdo Transport and Logistics.
Oh man, if they were here today, they would have needed 3 or 4 trucks. A lot of towing to be done. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the flatbed would get a big use here. The professional transport service on a flatbed type trailer with loading ramps, deck length of 40 foot, and 20,000 pounds capacity. I think a couple of those flatbeds would have got it done here today. But visit Transdo at their website, transdo.ca/home.
None of this could be done without the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now. And what about the iconic music that we play every time you hear it? You know you're listening to GSRC. That comes courtesy of Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen to how to contact each of them.
All right, Soup, the American iRacing Tuesday Series returns in 1 week, May 22nd, for the Season 12 finale from WeatherTech Laguna Seca Raceway. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. Sliding across your screen now are some of our upcoming broadcasts. Check those out. Mark them down on your calendar, if you will. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find them at our website, www.globalsimracingchannel.com. Yes, folks, we're also on social media. Huge presence over there. Find us at Twitter, at GSR Channel. Facebook, just type in Global Sim Racing Channel. You'll find us there. Please like us over there. And while you're here, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to this station by simply hitting the button right here below your screen. It says subscribe. Thank you, folks.
Finally, on behalf of the entire GSRC crew, Sean Ambrose, our director Joe Peak, and our camera artist Dougie Beard, and roosters everywhere on all corners of the globe, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun. Storm of the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.